This is Nicola.
Hello.
And we're on the Downton Abbey tour. I'm filming everything for my kids to see and everybody. So this is the little village where they film the village scenes, that's right, you said?
Yeah, and it's called Cozy Little English Village.
This is so pretty. And then the main house is about an hour from here, she was telling us, so.
Yeah, an hour's drive. Everything's more spread out than it seems.
So how many people live in the village?
Almost 2,000, so it seems like quite a lot actually, but not really all that much. But they are, I've heard, building houses somewhere on an estate at the back, so I think it's about to increase in size, which I'm sure the villagers aren't all that happy about. But maybe they'll bring them a big supermarket or something.
It's a perk.
Right now all they have is a little shop. You'll find as well that a lot of the houses and cottages and things, they've all got names rather than numbers. Because it's just, you know, it's come from having so few that they didn't need the numbers on the street. They got to name their own houses personally. So sometimes they'll mean something. So the Old Forge here, they've got Phoenix Cottage over there. And what they can do is if they've named the house, they have the right to take the name with them to their next place
Really?
they want to live. So then the new owner would then have to rename the cottage, or they keep it with the house just to keep everything
Wow.
together. Even to cover the bell there, take the ramp away, that sort of thing. But other than that, a bit of fake stone there to cover up the light. So just a few, they've got like a checklist on an iPad basically, and they just check, make sure it's all covered up. So they only use the outside of this as well. You'll have seen it a lot during series 2, obviously during the war, Dr. Clarkson and all the nurses coming and going. They use the inside at the University of Buckingham, so that's the internal scenes for the hospital. This one is teeny tiny, you would fit about 2 hospital beds in there. But this was formerly the grammar school for the village, and then it turned into the library. And when I let you sort of go and have a wander around, go in there and have a look. They've got a little shop inside as well, and it sells all little Downton Abbey bits and pieces. And they've kind of, you know, decided to open a shop to help fund and renovate this really old, beautiful, you know, building, hundreds of years old. But it's also the only place that you can actually get Downton Abbey things on the tour. Once you get to the castle, they saw him killed. His name can't be on the memorial because he was shot for cowardice. He's not allowed on, and Mrs. Patmore is devastated. You know, she's saying he was shocked. You know, they didn't understand shell shock then. So Lord Grantham arranges this lovely memorial just for him, which stood on the wall just here. So you can even match up the moss lines. There, so you know where it was standing. So again, every time they come and they film in the village, the war memorial comes out and gets put there in its place. The interesting thing about the war memorial actually is Julian Fellows is very good with the history. So that's a little view, just they've set the camera up to go over the gate. This is Mrs. Hughes way back during the fair, the fun fair episode, when she gets her first marriage proposal. So they use the church for everything. This is a 12th century church. It doesn't need anything changing or doing to it. It is plenty old enough. So the wedding scene they did here, this is when they used all the extras. So they had 160 extras in this area. If you can imagine just filling this space with people. A lot of them were the villagers who got all excited and they got dressed up in all the costumes, and they were given flags. And so Lady Mary came in her carriage from where we just began the walk down there, all the way up here, stops outside, and then they cut to then the inside of the church, which looks like this. Manor houses like this to choose from, but there is no competition really. This one is bang smack in the middle of everything going on, so it's perfect. Now they only use the outside of this house. They did approach the woman who owns the house, her name's Maggie Harris, and they said, can we film inside your house as well? But she said, a bit too invasive, you know, it's going to change my life too much. And I'm sure she's really glad of that now, given how long it's gone on for.
Yeah.
But what she did do is she kind of let out the round room that you can see to the left there. She gave that to the actors as a kind of green room. So Maggie Harris was introduced to Dame Maggie Smith, and they kind of got on like a house on fire, and Maggie Smith was always in there because she said that Maggie's cappuccinos were so much better than the production rubbish that they were trying to give her from the trailers and stuff. So she was always in there being witty and making them all laugh. And in fact, Maggie Harris's husband, I always forget his name because he's such a quiet chap, but he was so kind of, he was blushing the day that Lady Mary got married, because she got ready in there and sort of came out all dressed ready for the scene, and then like he kissed her on the cheek and said, "Oh, I'm the first to get to kiss the bride," and he was all kind of... This is as far as we get the other way. So this is as far as the village goes to the final location, which is the pub just behind me. So again, it's just a normal person's house. They use the inside of a studio or another location. So this house here is the Grantham Arms. Connections with the Grantham Arms are mostly Branson. He tends to always go here when he's having a strop. Like in the first series when he was waiting for Sybil to run away with him, and he was staying here and the family came and tried to bribe him to leave her alone. That happened there.
So we're just walking on the grounds of the church in the village of Bampton. And this is where a lot of the Downton Abbey scenes are filmed. You can kind of hear music in the church. It's Sunday morning, so they're having a service. It's just amazing to actually see it in person. It's just beautiful. I don't know if you can, it's just so quiet. There's Crawley House in the show. And she kind of showed us that this little middle grassy area is where everything takes place. Like the kind of the carnival scenes, and the War Memorial goes there. So it's all very, very tiny. Seems a lot bigger on screen, but it's just beautiful. We're kind of wandering, this is the other side of the church, and we're just kind of wandering through. We have a little bit of free time. They let you just kind of explore. And then I think we'll grab maybe a little bite to eat. Look at this one. Uh-huh. Totally pretty one. Gorgeous. This is so neat. The church just got out from their services, and it's so cute to see all the local people talking in their church and socializing after services. So sweet. We passed this earlier, but this is a thatched roof. I don't know if you heard Nicola explaining, but the residents can name their home. Like this is called Thatched Cottage, and that one's called Tudor Cottage. And they're able to take the name with them if they ever move. So we just got to see the church kind of in action as they were finishing. It was really encouraging, actually, just to see them all socializing and happy and talking together. And I don't know, this is just how I am, but I just picture like Christmas time in this little village, you know what I mean? just like how it probably just bustles with everybody, I don't know, saying hello, and you can tell it's a close-knit group that lives here. So we're walking back to our guide, and we'll go from there. Look where we are. I should probably start singing the theme song for everybody right now. There it is. I cannot believe we're here. It's on beautiful land. Obviously a ton of cars. But we'll go in just a little bit. Our guide, Nicola, is getting our tickets for us. So we're gonna go inside. Can't wait. Hey guys, so we just finished at Highclere Castle touring around. What'd you think?
It looks just like the show.
It was great. We're sitting kind of in this little garden area. I'm having a cookie and Kurt is having his new favorite British snack. What is it?
Flapjacks.
And this is our view. Is this little garden cafe, and then there's the house. It's everything I can do not to call it Downton Abbey every time I talk about it, but it's Highclere Castle. And these are the grounds. Lots of people just walking around, enjoying the weather. So we're gonna finish our snack, and then I think we're headed back to London. It's been really, really neat to be here. Off we go.
That's for sure.
Bye, Highclere.
These are
Downton, I should
pictures
say.
of Lebanon, and they are
There it is.
so one of the former owners.
That was so
When he
cool.
inherited the house, but not this fellow, so that was a more basic.
Do I look like I belong at Downton?
Distant relative.
It was so cool.
Sent a message to him.
Headed back to London now.
Let me give you
Bye,
400
Downton.
seedlings. Cedars are-
Okay, so we are about to go on the Jack the Ripper tour, and Donald is the leader. And I was praying, he's signing autographs over there. I don't know if you can see him. But he and Molly recognized me. There he is. And he's signing his books. And we talked about my London semester. And you can see it's a big crowd because he's known as the Jack the Ripper expert. So we're about to go on the walk, and I feel so lucky because it's him and Molly leading it together. So I can't wait. I love Donald. I was hoping so bad I'd get to see him. He's an amazing man. I can't wait.
Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to London Walk's Jack the Ripper Walk. My name is Donald. I'm your guide for this evening's walk. I've written a couple of books on this subject, so I should be able to answer most of your questions. This section of wall behind me, because surprisingly, this has a place in the Jack the Ripper story. The bottom part of the wall is Roman. The top part is medieval. The oldest part of the wall is over 1800 years old. Now, at one time this wall enclosed an area of roughly 1 square mile. And this area inside the wall was the original London. It's the area we still refer to today as the City of London, or the 1 square mile with St Paul's Cathedral in its centre. Over the centuries, London has expanded from 1 square mile to over 700 square miles. But the City of London still has its own separate identity from the rest of London. It has its own Lord Mayor, its own form of government, and as far as this story is concerned, its own police force. London had in 1888 and still has today 2 police forces. The City of London Police Force for the 1 square mile, and the Metropolitan Police Force at Scotland Yard for the rest of London. Now in 1888, the commissioners of both police forces were ex-soldiers, and they jealously guarded their territory. And what that meant as far as working practices were concerned was that the City of London policeman could not investigate crime on Scotland Yard territory, and a policeman from Scotland Yard could not investigate crime inside the city. In fact, both police forces, particularly at the higher levels, did their best to ignore one another. Left to right behind me is called Middlesex Street. On every Sunday this gets turned into a street market called Petticoat Lane. But Middlesex Street is the boundary between the city and the East End. The boundary line runs down the middle of this street. Where you are standing now is the City of London, which comes under the City of London Police. The other side of the street is the official beginning of the East End in this area, which comes under the Metropolitan Police at Scotland Yard. City Police this side, Metropolitan Police that side, boundary down the middle. All our murderer has to do to cross the boundary is walk backwards and forwards across this street. No walls to climb, no ditches to jump. This was and is the boundary. And perhaps it's unnecessary to add that in 1888 there were no lights on the street, there were no roller shutters, there were no shops. These are all 20th century additions. Nor were there any lights on the landing staircases. These are the landing staircases, these sets of 3 lights running at regular intervals down through the block. It's at the bottom of the third set in from the right, those 3 windows there. If you follow them down the wall, you can't see it now, but you will in a few minutes. Those lights come down to a doorway, normally opening into what is in the circumstances the inappropriately named Happy Days Fish and Chip Shop restaurant. But in 1888, before the restaurant was built, that staircase came down to an open lobby giving access to the street. And it was in that lobby that the message was written in chalk on the wall, and a portion of Catherine Eddowes' apron dropped on the floor below it. Now the message that was written inside that doorway in chalk said, "The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing." I'll repeat that. The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. And this message has caused a lot of controversy. All the controversy is centered on the one word Jews, which was spelled not in the conventional manner of Jews, but Juwes. And this spelling has led to the suggestion that the murderer was either a Freemason or knew something about Freemasonry. Now, for those of you who don't know what Freemasonry is, Freemasonry can best be described as an all-male brotherhood. It has often been called a secret society.
Hey guys, so we just got back to our hotel from our Jack the Ripper tour, and my heart is so full, like, honestly. And I told Kurt, like, I didn't expect to see Donald and Molly there, and I'm getting emotional because they're just really special people to me. And I don't know, after I said goodbye to them, we talked for them for a good while after the tour and just caught up, and they remembered me, which was really sweet. And when we said goodbye, I got really emotional, like with Kurt afterward, not in front of them of course, but I just got really emotional with Kurt, and I just told him, I said, you know, like, they were just a big part of my life for 3 months, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, when you develop a relationship with somebody and they're just really special to you, and you live maybe in an area for a certain amount of time, is a piece of your heart stays there. And that's been hard to explain, I think, to anyone. You know, I mean, I'm not being like, you don't get it if you weren't there, but you know, like, it's just hard to explain to somebody what an experience meant to you in words. And I think Kurt got to see a little bit of that tonight with me seeing Donald and Molly again, and just being able to just hug them and tell them how much they mean to me and how much I enjoyed my time with them back 9 years ago. And I don't even know why I'm emotional about it. I think just being back here has been really special, and it just kind of hit me tonight, I guess. And so, you know, it's Sunday and we're about to start, you know, our last few days. We leave on Thursday morning, so we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm so ready to get back to my kids. I miss my kids a lot, and I know that's where I'm supposed to be. My heart is with them, and I miss them a lot, but at the same time, I wouldn't trade this for anything. And just this experience, especially for some reason seeing Donald and Molly tonight, it just really, like, was full circle for me. And being back, you know, almost 10 years later, 9 years later, it's just been really, really special. And seeing them really like made the trip for me. And so, like, I know it's awkward when people cry, you know, in a video or whatever, but this is really for my own memory of just how it felt to see them and being able to hug them. And I got their contact info, and so hopefully we can stay in touch better. But they're just really special people to me, and I'm just thankful I got to see them and spend time with them. So tomorrow is pretty much a free day. I kind of built that in after just the frantic pace that we've been keeping. But I think we may try to go to Westminster Abbey tomorrow morning because we missed it the last time there was a tour, and I don't think there's a London Walks tour happening, but we're going to try to pay extra on our ticket. That's what Donald and Molly suggested. You can pay a little extra on your ticket and get a better tour around the Abbey. So I think we're going to try to do that. But overall, it's just been an amazing day, and just seeing Downton and meeting our tour guide Nicola and our driver Chris. Like, we had the best conversation with them on the way back. Well, actually on the way there and back. Like, we talked about every topic under the sun, and just exchanging perspectives and asking about each other's countries, and it was just a really special time with them. And I just feel like today, like, my heart is just in like overflow mode of just relationships and people and loving people and meeting people, and just hopefully leaving people feeling better, if that makes sense. And it was really sweet because Nicola, she's I think 27, she was our guide, and so, you know, we're definitely the same peer group, and we just talked about so much. And, you know, religion and faith and spiritual matters came up, but you know, it wasn't like the only topic of conversation. It just kind of, like, with me and Kurt, like, it just kind of flowed into everything, I guess. And at the end of it, as we were leaving, the last thing she said to me was, "You're just a very inspiring couple." And I say that humbly because, like, that was the most touching thing that she could have said. But Kurt and I just really felt like it was a special time with both of them, and talking and just spending time getting to know them and learning their stories. And so that, to me, is what travel is all about. And yeah, we're gonna walk away with just some incredible memories. So it's been a full day. My heart is really full tonight, and I'm just thankful to be here. So I'll check in tomorrow. I'm not sure what exactly we'll do, but we'll just check in and see what happens tomorrow. So good night, guys.